Did you know there are three things that every consumer wants? Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you're buying, there are three things. It's a universal truth. I believe Robert Kiyosaki said this in a book. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. May not have been him, I'm not sure, but I think it is. I read something a long time ago, and it's something that stuck out to me, and I want to share these three things with you. And then I want to share some tips on how this can help you in your business. The first thing people want is the expected quality of the product. So whatever you're buying, you want it to have the quality that you expect. What that means is when you go to McDonald's, there's a level of expectation on what kind of burger you're going to get, and that quality would be vastly different than going to your favorite sit-down restaurant with fancy burgers. There's still a level of quality you expect, and if you don't get that, it's not going to be a good day for you. It's not going to be a good day for whoever the business is that's not fulfilling their end of the bargain on what they're giving you. So the expected quality is the first thing that you want in every purchase you ever make. The second thing is you want it now. Nobody likes to wait. Everybody wants convenience. We want it now. We want it as quick as possible. This is one of the reasons why I love Amazon, because they have this nailed down. They have made things so convenient so that you can get something most of the time within 2 days. And that's how long it would take me to figure out a time in my schedule to get up off the couch and go buy whatever it is that I wanted, or to go shopping for something, which I hate doing. So convenience, you want it now. Nobody likes to wait. If you go to McDonald's, you don't want to wait. If you're more patient and you go to a sit-down place, you expect to wait a certain amount of time, but you're also waiting for something that is more. And the expectation is still there that you don't want to wait longer than you assume you're going to already. So you want the quality that you expect, and the amount of time it takes you to get it should be as small as possible. Those are two things you want. The third thing that people want is they want it with a smile. Everybody wants good customer service. And unfortunately, in this world, good customer service seems like it's going right out the window. It's crazy to me. It's becoming a pet peeve when I go through a fast food restaurant and the person giving me the food at the window does not utter a single word to me. No, thank you, have a nice day, or come again next time, or there's nothing. I even make a point now to talk to them. Hey, have a good night. And even though I am communicating with my big boy words to them, I would say about half the time I get zero response. So not only are they not giving you the smiles, they're just actually being rude and ignoring you. Blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. The cool thing about good customer service is that you can mess up on the first two parts. In your business, you can mess up on the quality. You could do something and the quality just isn't what it should be. Doesn't matter what the reason is, but you can mess something up. And as long as you have great customer service, that is a problem that good customer service can overcome. You could mess up the timing and things take twice as long as they expect. You don't know. Good customer service can come behind and make things better. Now, you can't do this all the time or you're going to lose clients and lose credibility. But if these things happen, everybody knows, everybody makes mistakes. When they happen, and they will in your business, your customer service is going to be the thing that saves the day for you. I wanted to share with you a thing that happened with us a couple weeks ago, and then I want to share some tips with you about really good customer service, and these are the things that make our business, I feel, a step above the rest. A couple weeks ago, we did a job, and we had used this new vinyl logo to make logos with. New vinyl to make logos with. There were problems with it. We didn't test it beforehand, so that's on us. But there were problems with it, and those problems, that's a quality problem all of a sudden. Those problems led to a convenience problem because we started running out of time on the job. There's other factors that could have made the convenience better. We could have had an extra employee for this job, which would have helped a bit, but we didn't. There's more than one factor. But in this case, the quality problem was one of the factors that led to a convenience problem. And then the customer, our customer, who is an event planner that we love very much, she had her team help us out to get the job done. The job got done for her client. Her client, I hope and assume, never knew there was an issue, which is the way it should be. But our client did, and she was not very well pleased because of how this day turned out. And that's on us. The great thing is that we have a good relationship with this client. And because of that great relationship, she knew we were going to take care of the problem. She knew we were going to make things right with her. And she also knew that we understood the gravity of the situation, that this is not something that can continue. So I want to share with you in our business the things that make customer service a priority for us and the ways that we go about handling. There are 6 tips that I want to share with you. The 6 tips that I want to share with you is to communicate with your client directly and as soon as possible. Tip number 5, own the mistake. Tip number 4, bring solutions, not just problems. Tip number 3, teach your employees to be nice. Tip number 2, empower your whole team to handle the problem and to provide solutions to your clients. And the most important, tip number 1, is reputation is greater than money. Let's dig into each one, and then we'll go through, get a little bit deeper, and hopefully this will be information that will help you guys out. The 6th tip is to communicate directly to your client if you have an event planner, and to do it as soon as possible. If your client is the end client, then you want to figure out the easiest way to communicate an issue only when you know that issue is going to persist. It's not something you can fix. It's not something you can make better on the spot. Then you need to talk to your client, and you need to do it as soon as possible. If you have an event planner, when you know there is potentially a problem, depends on your relationship with the event planner, but I kind of have the mindset that our event planners are willing to help us brainstorm solutions to problems. And if you have a great relationship, it's not really a big deal. But communicate the problem as soon as possible, hopefully with time for people to figure out a way to help correct the problem before it ends up permanent for your job. The 5th tip is to own your mistakes. These problems that happen, it doesn't matter if it's an employee who hired the employee, you did. It doesn't matter if it's a distributor didn't ship something, who worked with that distributor, you do. Who maybe didn't order balloons as early as they should have, you did. Whatever the case is, on the job, we are not pointing fingers, we are not blaming anybody else. We own the problem, and it is now our responsibility to try to make it right on the job. Don't blame others, and for heaven's sake, do not lie. Do not make up some story that is not true about whatever caused the problem that it did. That also brings me to the 4th tip, is when you bring these problems to your client, you should have a solution attached to that problem. You should already have brainstormed what you think would be a great idea to either overcome the problem or to navigate around the problem and maybe give them something else that you feel like would maybe help the situation. Whatever the case is, when you're presenting the problem to your client, you should also have something to come to them with, not just problems, but answers to the problem, solutions on how you're going to make it right, whatever that is. You should have thought about that before you start talking to your client about the problem. The 3rd thing, if you're a business owner like me, you're not necessarily going to all the jobs. I know a lot of you guys, you do every job yourself. So and when you work with people, they come and they help you. You don't actually send them out to jobs. But the bigger you get in your business, the more it is impossible for you to go do every job. And that means you're going to be working with people. You're going to be working with employees. They're going to be representing you on the job. They represent you. They need to be empowered to handle these problems on the job. You need to talk to your employees about things that they are allowed to do and allowed to give on the job. Like if the client's not happy with A, your employee should have an idea, well, I'm going to go and offer them B because I think that would be good for this client to make them happy. Now, your employees should be trying to get in touch with you. They should be trying to call you for solutions to let you know that there's a problem because you're the first person that can help them. But they should feel empowered to know that on a job, if it's on them and you're not answering the phone or you're unavailable or you're on another job or you're out of town, something, that they have the power to work with your client to make sure your client's happy. It's very important. If you're scared to do that, then you need to practice. You need to train with your employees. Teach them all the scenarios you can think of and maybe what good solutions would be for them to offer to your clients. With that in place, it might sound weird, but you need to teach your employees to be nice. You just got to teach them to be nice. So this is crazy to me. My pleasure. When I say that phrase, I guarantee most of you are thinking Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A has drilled it into their employees' heads that my pleasure is a response to most anything that as a customer you say to them. Oh, thank you for good service, or oh, thanks for the barbecue sauce, or thanks for taking my order, whatever. Their answer is my pleasure. Before Chick-fil-A came into prominence, I never really heard, I've heard those words, my and pleasure, but I've never heard them used by people the way that the employees of Chick-fil-A use them. Because it's not, at the time, it's not a normal response. At least in the circles that I traveled in, I never heard people say, oh, my pleasure. You're welcome might have been something you heard or whatever, but my pleasure is very unique, very specific. And now when I hear it, even if somebody's not working at Chick-fil-A, I kind of wonder if they used to work at Chick-fil-A. I think it's really cool, but what that tells me is there's a culture that trains their employees to think a certain kind of way and to use certain kind of words like my pleasure. It gets into your mind and it makes you think and act a certain kind of way. We need to teach our employees to be nice. I don't know what it is about these drive-thrus. Somebody needs to teach these guys and girls. Talk to the customers, be nice, use your words. That's why people need that human interaction, and they need to know that you care, that they're there. All right, so the very most important solution, the most important thing you can ever do to have good customer service is to value your reputation far more than the money. When you're doing customer service work with somebody because there's a problem or a mistake, money cannot be the reason why you are not going to give good customer service. It absolutely can't. Your reputation is far more valuable than one job. Your reputation is far more valuable than the amount of money from one job. You might have customers that may try to take advantage of this, and that is a future problem when working with that customer. But on the job that is in question, money can't be a reason why the answer is not pleasing to your client. If you lose money, we're in business. We can make more of it. We just go get more jobs. If you lose reputation, sometimes it's impossible to get back with some of your clients. If you lose a client because of your reputation, you're never getting them back. It's just not going to happen. If you lose a client because of your reputation, that client could end up going and talking to other clients who will talk to other people who talk to other people. And now your reputation has cost you far more than that single job that you were worried about salvaging the profit or the money from that one job. Reputation is greater than money every time. I hope these tips help you. I hope they help your business. I hope that this is something that you can start putting into your mind whenever you're working with customers. The great thing is if you have a good reputation and a good relationship with your customers, mistakes are going to happen. Your customers are aware, they understand. Sometimes they're hard to work with, and sometimes if a mistake happens, you just have a customer that's out. They're never going to give you that benefit of the doubt. They're never going to give you a second chance. You can't really do much about those customers. However, for the majority of the people in this world, mistakes happen and they know it. And if you have a good relationship with them, you can work through your mistakes in a way that keeps your customer It actually can make your customers feel more confident in working with you because they know if a problem happens with your company, you're going to do the right thing. There's a lot of companies out there that just don't. And if I'm a customer and I have a problem with a company and they react in a way that doesn't make me happy, I'm done. I'm not their customer ever again. But if they do reply in such a way where I'm like, I get it, the problem happened, but I'm kind of happy with how it turned out, I'm going to keep going to use their service or their product or whatever it is.